Canelo was one of the greatest to ever lace up the gloves, and he was one of the most exciting boxers I have ever watched. But we have to be real with ourselves. That Canelo is gone. We just saw him get outclassed by a super welterweight fighter in Terence Crawford, and even before that fight, he was on the decline since the John Ryder fight. Now he's only 35 years old, which isn't too old in boxing. We just saw what Terence Crawford did at 38 years old. We saw what Usyk's doing, pushing 40, is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But Canelo has a lot of miles on him. He was in some big fights, never really got hurt. Okay, but he took some punches. All right, 3 fights with Triple G is going to have some damage on you. Fighting Kovalev, fighting Bivol, that Terence Crawford fight, even that John Ryder fight. All right, like I mentioned, that put some damage on him. Over 65 fights, he's at the stage where he accomplished everything he needs to do. Became the face of boxing for a long period of time, probably a decade. Considered, in my opinion, the best Mexican boxer of all time. One of the best boxers of all time. Undisputed at super middleweight. He accomplished everything he really needs to do. Just got a big payday, of course, from that fight with Terence Crawford. Began big paydays really the past decade, but that fight is a good way for him to really go out personally. All right, I'm sure he focuses more on his family now. He focuses more on golf. He loves golf. He's not that guy that is as dedicated as he was in the 2010s, the very early 2020s when he was destroying guys like Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant. That Canelo's gone, and it sucks. As a big fan of Canelo, as the guy, like I said, most exciting boxer I ever watched, that guy's gone now. And it's clear. We saw that with the Munguia fight. We saw that with the Berlanga fight, the Charlo fight. He just doesn't have that power anymore to make guys, fear him. All right, we saw Terence Crawford. We look at that fight. Terence Crawford was beating Canelo at his own game, staying in the inside of fighting in the inside. Usually when you fight in the inside against Canelo, bad things are going to happen. Terence Crawford was beating Canelo in his own game. Terence Crawford never even had a fight at 160 before, let alone 168. And he was completely outclassing Canelo, completely counterpunching him, landing way bigger shots on Canelo. Stuff like that, it just makes me think, I don't see Canelo ever winning another high-level fight again. And it's sad. It sucks. But, it happens. Even though he's younger than Terence Crawford, his career, I feel like, started to plateau earlier, mainly because of the bigger fights he was in when he was younger. Having a lot more fights, over 20 more fights than Terence Crawford has. Much stronger, better opponents than Terence Crawford has. I'm not discrediting Terence Crawford, but of course Canelo, he has a lot more miles on him, despite only being 35 years old. Like I mentioned with the Terence Crawford, he wasn't really fearing Canelo. Canelo was throwing those wide hooks that he always does. He throws super wide hooks that can be seen from a mile away, but usually his opponents don't see them because Canelo's usually pressuring them, walking them down, so they curl up on the ropes like this. They can't see any punch that's coming. So Canelo throws those wide hooks, they get in here, they get on the body, but Terence Crawford wasn't really fearing Canelo there. He was seeing those hooks. He was counterpunching. He was just outboxing and outclassing Canelo. And if he's not going to be able to beat Crawford, obviously Crawford's the best around that weight class divisions from 154 to 168 now. He just proved that. He could sure beat some good guys like Mbili, maybe Lester Martinez. He could probably beat Chris Eubank, but he's not going to beat Terence Crawford again. He's not going to beat any of the young, hungry guys coming up still. He's not beating David Benavidez like we thought he would. He cannot box David Benavidez right now, nor does he have the power to even make Benavidez respect him. And that's the problem. That's when you got to look in the mirror and say, all right, I think it's time to call it quits. When you don't have the power anymore that you were known for to make guys respect you, if you did not have the power to make Terence Crawford respect you, you ain't going to have David Benavidez respect you. You ain't going to have any of the other guys really at 168 respect you. These past 3 or 4 fights that Canelo had, those guys kind of didn't so much respect Canelo's power. Sure, some of them got caught like Berlanga, but the rest of the fight, Munguia got caught, but they weren't really as feared as Canelo's opponents were in the past, in like the 2010s. And that's a problem because he will not outbox his opponents. He just won't. He can't outbox Terence Crawford. We knew he wasn't going to be able to beat Terence Crawford by outboxing him. It would just be basically him pressuring him and just making the judges see him, all right, Canelo's pressuring him, putting too much force, breaking him down, not so much outboxing him. Terence Crawford, of course, outboxed him. But he doesn't have that stoppage power anymore, and that's a problem. That's really a problem. So I think he should really just consider retirement. And that's really all there is to it. He accomplished everything he needs to. He has the money. He can't outbox his opponents anymore. Sure, he could beat maybe Chris Eubank, maybe Mbili, Lester Martinez. But the other hungry guys at 168 right now, sure, he could beat Caleb Plant in the rematch. Probably Munguia again. But the other guys at 168, Terence Crawford, anybody at 175, he ain't beating those guys. And it sucks. It is what it is. But those days are over for Canelo. I don't see that ever coming back. these past 3 or 4 fights, I thought, okay, it was just one fight. Next fight, he'll be all right. Then next fight, he looked the same. Next fight, looked the same. This fight looked even worse. That can't be happening. You can't be getting outclassed like that by a 154-pounder. No disrespect to, of course, Crawford. He's good. But size alone and power and just you being Canelo, you having all that legendary status to you, you can't get outclassed like that in your own weight division for the undisputed super middleweight titles. I would like to see Canelo go out and win. So if he was to fight one more, I won't be necessarily mad about it. But, of course, we always wanted that Benavidez fight. I think that's suicide for Canelo right now. He should not be doing that. But, maybe throw him against like a C-level fighter, just get him a win in Mexico or something and have him go out on a victory win that like he deserves. But he has all the money now. He has everything he needs. He doesn't need to keep fighting. And it sucks to really hear that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What should Canelo do next? Who should he fight next? Or should he just retire? I'm out, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.